start, I think. There are others coming in joining. Alright. So we are here today for this workshop. You know the title, Designing of Learning and Assessment Materials Using Web Tools. And basically, we will be talking about the materials that you can think of doing in classrooms. We believe that there are two compelling ideas that push us into thinking about integrating technology in the curriculum that we're dealing with here. Number one, we believe that human beings are essentially hardwired into networks, and the impulse to share ideas and to know that we have been heard, it is basically part of our need for a community. So we know that as human beings, as it is built into human nature, that we want to live we want to live as an active member of the community in a network around us. And then, secondly, if we carefully look around ourselves, we come to a realization and we come to appreciate the fact that the role of technology we just cannot ignore in our daily lives in general and in educational institutions in particular, and especially in the media-permeated society that we now live in. Okay. Now, a few words about the structure of my workshop today. We will actually begin with, briefly we'll talk about this theoretical question, what learning looks like when it happens online. This is going to be a really brief part of my workshop, so bear with me. And then we'll quickly move on to the more meaty part of our workshop, which is designing learning and assessment tools using the web tools. I keep saying the web tools. I'm not going to talk about the softwares. I'm actually trying to exclude all those topics or areas that you might be thinking that I am going to cover, which I'm not, because I'm not dealing here today with the softwares. If there is a need, we can arrange another workshop some other time, and we can talk about the softwares that are available to design tests or learning materials. So this is going to be all web-based, all web tools that we'll be talking about. For this, you need to go to the websites and log into those websites, be a member, registered member, without paying, of course, anything. I won't bring in anything for which we need to pay. Yeah. So it's going to be the web tools that we are going to talk about. I'll try to cover as many bits of our syllabus that we deal here. For instance, how do we do the pronunciation? How do we do the writing? Speaking, listening, stuff like that. Okay. So I don't know how many of us agree with the statement. It's not mine. Don't get any chance. Let's proceed. I've already told you that this is what we are going to be covering. Moving on. Let's take out some time and think about these questions, but let's not take a lot of time. First of all, do you think technologies, a range of technologies, videos, network-based computers, web tools, softwares, should they play a central or peripheral role? The central or the peripheral role in foreign language teaching and learning? Do you think technologies should play a role? But two types. Categorize it the central role or the peripheral role. Where do you place yourselves?
Depends on your objectives.
Depends on your objectives. I appreciate if you are a little more specific. I mean, you say depends upon your objectives.
For example, if you're trying to teach a particular lesson and you feel that technology can be a kind of hindrance, better take it as a peripheral kind of aspect of
good.
teaching.
It's your idea, very good idea. I like it. Yeah. Do you think it should play a central role? Or a peripheral? You mean a peripheral role? Why? education must carry on. Okay, for instance, we have the educational setup, in place, and we have the technologies in hand. Then, do you think technology
I think it's the central role.
should play a central role?
Yeah, because now it's the part of our culture, part of our life. So you cannot ignore that one.
Yeah.
When you didn't have that was a different case. Now when you have, like in the classroom, you cannot come with a chalk or something because you have to go with a marker. You have to use a marker. So technology is also an essential element now in our life.
It's already inside. the
It's
classroom.
already there, yeah. But the question is foreign language is a different thing.
Mhm.
Foreign
Okay.
language is a different thing.
Interesting.
Because technology, all the things, they are made by central-based teachers or the educators. We might not have if we are peripheral teachers. So that is the difference. Foreign language teaching is different than second language, especially with the technology. Because technology is not made for us as second
I
language
think
teachers.
when you talk about the foreign language context or the second language context, I think would it not be better if we then think of this, your situation, think of the instructional strategies instead of saying technology being peripheral or central?
Yeah, because you are saying foreign language, obviously your students don't know the terms.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, if they are using mobile phone English interface, they don't know the terms, so how are you going to have them? Obviously you need to go to the...
I need maximum participation, like mashallah, Mr. Dale has given and another friend of mine. There is no right or wrong answers here. We're just discussing to generate, to construct, ideas here. Nobody's idea is
So I
perfect.
think if you give us 30 seconds at least to discuss in our group, that would help.
If you like, yeah, why not? It's a good idea.
This is what I think. This is a means to an end.
Means to an end.
Yeah, use of technology. But still, we cannot ignore the central position of the teacher.
Okay, when we talk about technology, it actually doesn't necessarily mean that technology taking the control and teacher in-house
I
technology.
don't think technology can take over the teaching.
It never, we just saw the
Yes,
statement.
I agree with the statement.
Yeah.
Teacher is the central person in the classroom. Technology is just a tool to assist that
Somebody
standing.
else, I think, somebody was raising his hand. All right, very nice ideas, good ideas. So we do need to, regarding this question, we do need to think about which context are we thinking, second language, foreign language. You also need to think, like you said, that, are we thinking of technology as a tool or as a teacher itself? Or probably we also need to think about instructional strategies instead of throwing technology away. Alright? Or giving it the position of the teacher. So we need to decide between these things.
It's a means to an end. What subject?
Yeah.
The objective is to teach the students.
Yeah.
And by utilizing those tools, you can achieve your objectives. Then it's beneficial. Sometimes people use IT and has nothing to do with what they're teaching because of the subject completely not benefiting.
So as long as technology is helping learning, it's getting the results, fine. Well, second one, have you had any experience using IT tools in your foreign language classrooms? What lessons have you learned from it? If ever you have used any, level of technology, doesn't matter, softwares or even cameras, presentations, anything like that. Have you ever used, mashallah, you are holding laptops or labs? Huh?
iTunes, PowerPoint.
iTunes, PowerPoint. So what lessons have you learned so far? Do you want to share your ideas?
Useful.
Useful, not useful?
It's engaging,
Motivating, useful,
motivates.
motivating,
Facilitates learning.
facilitates,
Especially for repeaters.
for repeaters, reinforces probably certain language items, skills, components.
Gives a lot of motivation for the class.
Keeps students focused.
We will present like a video, so it engages all the sense, most of the senses of the students. Like they see, they hear, and sometimes they also there's movement
have not been comfortable using computers in the classroom, what advice would you like to give them?
Should give it a try.
Just like
They should give it a try. Don't be hesitant, don't shy.
Unlearn, relearn.
Okay, unlearn the previous learning,
Yeah, and then
relearn. Okay, the new learning. And what else?
Some training sessions.
Don't try new things in the
In
classroom.
observation lesson, he says.
And observation activities, because there is a column saying, if the teacher uses technology or multimedia, the activities.
The most important part, the most important thing on part of a teacher, I believe, is the level of preparedness. Okay? I mean, even if you're not taking technology or any sort of, any kind of technology into the classroom, not even the laptops or a mobile or PPT, even then, you're taking the papers into the classroom, and if you are not prepared about the lesson, of course you're going to flunk. Of course, I mean, you'll be exposed before the students. Students, no matter how weak they are in the language, we're talking about language, I mean, they will know the teacher is not prepared. So, I mean, if you are taking the technology into the classroom, the computer into the classroom, you need to be ready to use it. Are we okay with this?
Yeah.
Alright. And what role of teacher do you think technology integrated classrooms will have? The role of a teacher? Or do you think, first of all, let me ask, do you think there will be a change of role when we compare the face-to-face traditional classrooms and the technology integrated classrooms? Will there be a change of roles?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so there would be any difference because.
Any difference?
Yeah, no, because technology is used as a tool, right? Whether you bring technology or you bring paper, teacher is always there. He has to know how to use it. That's it.
What about the skills, the extra skills that the teacher would like to master?
Teacher should
In
know.
If you are using technology in your class, obviously you should be prepared for that. If you are not prepared, even for the paper, you are not a good teacher in that scenario. So obviously you have to be prepared.
Okay, any other idea? From this part of the world, this is silent.
I think
The role of
use
teacher.
of IT helps the classroom being more learning center, student center,
Instead of teacher.
instead of teacher
So
center.
the role does shift.
Yeah, because
Okay.
without use of IT, the teacher is the source in which the classroom was commanding.
Same on the stage.
And when you have IT with you, you can do the right things.
Yeah, and IT integrated classrooms.
Shifts.
Yeah,
shift
it
the
shifts.
direction.
You are no more the stage on the stage, rather you are guide on the side, right?
I still don't agree. I still don't agree. No, I can prove it. I can prove it. In our observations.
Give me one answer.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm talking about this scenario. In our class observation, formal or informal, we are not allowed to use any of the tools, right? No mobile phones, no PowerPoints, nothing. Okay?
Why?
Yeah, that
So
is.
let him finish.
That is this time they have asked us to do it. Last year they asked us not to do anything. This time only. This time. Yeah. The last year, anyhow, okay, I didn't use any of the tools, right? But even then, you can have the student-centered classroom. You have to create the activities for the students. It's not like you are talking and the students are listening. That is a lecture best and we are talking about language teaching. Language teaching, the role of the teacher is always facilitated. Whether you use technology or not, you are always there. So
Okay.
it doesn't make a difference.
So the thing is, use of technology helps the teacher more. That's what we're talking about. When you're using computer, you also have to design activities. But think about when you're giving the answers. If you don't have a computer, you have to write at least all the answers. But in one place you can show all the students the answers. There's one thing. Secondly, you can make groups. You can give them activities. And with the help of technology, you can create different versions and can give it to the students.
Yeah, but it doesn't change the role of the teacher. That's what I mean. This can be used as a tool. You can bring a tape recorder, you can bring a laptop, you can bring nothing. Teacher role is always there. Teacher knows what to do.
Can you take a traditional classroom teacher, IT integrated classroom, can you take me there?
No, that is a different, no, now you are comparing two things. We are talking about the role of the teacher.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You don't compare. One is tech savvy, one is not. You cannot compare.
So along with the technology, you see, along with technology comes certain skills with the teacher.
Your question, okay, your question is different, Ali. Your question is different. Now you are talking about different.
Let's carry on this topic, after the. So, my question, I mean, these are more like, rhetorical questions for you, okay? I mean, probably I don't, per se don't require the answers here. But when was the last time, probably you think it for yourselves, when was the last time you were really excited about learning?
Right now.
Now.
At the time of the formal observation.
And how often do your learners feel really inspired that we learned something, we are taking something home today? And have you really embraced the new learning technology? So we need to, when we start with, technology, taking technology into classrooms, we need to think on these lines. All right, we will start with the ideas which you people have already, outlined. That technology essentially is a tool that helps teachers to facilitate the language learning process. And what role has it got? It has got this role to enforce what has already been learned in the classroom, or as a remedial tool that helps learners who require additional support. We said it for the repeaters, right? So we are not saying that technology, IT, or any form of technology could be a standalone thing. It could better be used as a tool or as an add-on thing with your ongoing curriculum. Then the design of CAL materials. CAL is for computer-assisted language learning. I would pronounce it like CAL. The design of CAL materials generally takes into consideration principles of language pedagogy and methodology. We need to be aware of how languages are learned, and derived from language learning theories like behaviorist, cognitive, and constructivist. I'm not going to go into the details of what learning theories are, for behaviorism or for cognition, but we'll slightly touch, upon what constructivism has to say. And this has been sort of a practice for me that whenever I used to train the teachers back home, I would start up with this small anecdotal, story for to illustrate the point what constructivism is. Once upon a time, there were 7 friends, and they were blind. And they had, supposedly seen everything in the world but an elephant. They had not seen an elephant in their whole lives. So they decided to go to the zoo and see an elephant. So the 7 friends could go to the zoo, and when they were standing in front of the elephant, one of them touched the trunk, okay, and another one touched its legs. The third one touched the body. Yeah, the fourth one touched the tail. Okay, but they came back. They sat together, and then they decided. What do you think an elephant is like? So one said that the elephant, the one who touched the trunk, said the elephant is like a snake. The one who touched the legs said the elephant is like a tree trunk. One who touched the body, the big, flat body, it said that it's like a ball. And the one who touched the tail said, no, the elephant is actually like a rope. So there were so many different opinions, very, very different from each other. And they started fighting on it. From this story, what do you think, what was the thing that they did right in the first place? Let's get you thinking about What was the thing that they did right? When they came back,
They proceed to go about elephant according to their own thinking and feelings.
They didn't write anything because they were blind.
yeah. And don't you think that, I mean, that sitting on the table, sitting on the table, yeah, to discuss, okay, this is what it is right. That was the good thing about it. But what was the bad thing about it? They could not understand what an elephant really is like. They could not. What actually failed them?
Consider themselves all knowing, they just touched a little part, and they thought they know it all.
They focused on,
Close.
Maybe if you know one part of a whole, you cannot predict, so you have to assemble all the
Quite
parts.
close. Quite close. I'm not looking for, I'm cynical, being cynical here, I'm looking for
Combining the judgment. Combining the judgment of all.
combining the judgment into a point. Yes? Say.
the same point.
And which was?
You know, you shouldn't concentrate on the parts. You should concentrate on the people.
Complete the jigsaw picture.
Yeah, excellent. These ideas, fine. They did not listen to each other to construct an elephant. So the knowledge that they were looking for, they could not construct it. They could not generate it. Alright, you see the point, this is the idea, what constructivism is about. It's not the transfer, it's the construction of idea. They did not, they okay, I mean, they sat together, but they could not appreciate the fact that they need to listen to the other person, okay? Listen to the each bits and then construct a whole. The elephant would have probably easily been constructed if they had listened to each other to construct a bigger picture. Don't you think this is what the research does? In each and every context, the researchers do their work, they have their findings, and what do they do in the literature review? They collect the findings from different contexts, and that's how they construct a bigger picture. For example, the use of ICT, the effectiveness of ICT, and in this context, probably in my country, probably in states, in Europe, and when we listen to all these ideas, what each particular researcher are saying, that's how we construct a bigger picture of how ICT could be effective, in our context or any context which is global. All right. So that was about constructivism. So please bear in mind when we are going through the activities and the tools, because that's precisely the learning theory behind online teaching and learning. I won't, bother to go over these things if you quickly want to go, because these have already been said. Let's move. Okay. So the attributes of web-based learning. These are small bits and pieces. Let's go on. It requires an understanding of the properties of synchronous verbal and asynchronous text. What is a synchronous?
At the same time, real time.
At the same time, real time. For example,
Like distance learning.
yeah, this is synchronous. And if we talk about a digital media, what is a synchronous? Skyping, chatting, messaging, MSN, Yahoo, Skype. And asynchronous is
Recording.
when you send an email, okay, or when you leave a message on the dashboard. Yeah, that's asynchronous. Number two, the method to fuse these forms of communication to achieve intended learning outcomes. Third, it is inquiry-oriented lesson format. Especially if you would like to think about the web quest. Got any idea about web quests? Okay, we'll probably talk next time. And then from working independently to working collaboratively. Remember, how we started off. Human beings need to be a part of a community, a network community, and to be actually recognized and to be able to share and to be able to, get heard. That's precisely what is behind the spirit of collaborative as a team. Now, the communication, the group work, problem solving, critical and creative thinking skills are becoming far more important in today's world than having students memorize predetermined content. So, this is also an attempt to move away from the cramming culture, memorization things. When was so we are born? When was America got liberated? When was the incident happened? When was the king born? When was the queen? When was the queen crowned? Blah, blah, stuff. So we are actually going more into problem solving and critical thinking. So when we talk about online learning, learning is effectively seen as collaborative, content specific, able to be immediately applied, personal to the student, should be able to personalize it. Okay, where is my part? Where am I in the learning process? Fused on content and pedagogical knowledge, it mustn't be one-off thing, it should be ongoing process and conducted in a manner that allows reflection and discussion. Okay. So this has, we have already discussed, spent some time. This is just a summary of characteristics of constructivist learning model of learning and teaching. Saying almost the same thing. So the last thing that we need to bother about when we need to bother about the slides is the best practices for effective online teaching and learning. Let's go over these and we'll move on to the next part. So you need to be present at the course site. If you are offering the course, if you are offering some activity for the students, you need to show to the students that you're not off the screen, you're not off the computer. Okay? You are there, you are monitoring, you are expecting their responses. So you need to be there and make a presence online. Create a supportive online course community. Okay? Give enough feedback, guidelines, probably marking criteria. Okay? How your activity will be evaluated on, and how could you, get more marks, and share a set of very clear expectations for your students, for yourself, as to how you communicate. Is it going to be a synchronous or an asynchronous? Is it going to be Skype? Will you be using Skype or the Yahoo conference feature? And how much time students should be working on each course each week? How many hours, contact hours? And then use a variety of large group, small group, individual group experiences. Need to vary between these two. Mustn't be, continuously an individual work or a group work. Need to, keep varying between these two. Use both synchronous and asynchronous. Early in the term, about week 3, you can say, ask for the informal feedback on your course, on your activity. Asking, for example, how is the course going? Or how is the activity task going? Okay? And do you have any suggestions? You can do it, it's called mid-module reflection. Alright? And then prepare discussion posts that invite questions, discussions, reflections, and responses. You need to keep the channels open. Okay? So that your students can say whatever they like, or articulate any suggestion, or probably if they have got any inquiry, question, they need to be able to get to you, as soon as they can. You need to go over yourself, on this. I'll wait for max 90 seconds. Please read it. students' responses, students' contribution. Okay, students write comments about your open-ended questions. Okay, and there have always been, concerns within the faculty about how are you going to assess or score such contributions, such suggestions or responses, the students' reaction. I mean, if a student has given you, 2 or 3 responses, okay, and for example, another student has not been able to do it, then how are you going to score? If you are interested, I can provide you with one scoring rubric which I have recently developed for ELI, because remember, there has been enough talk about the reading circle, doing away with reading circles. So in one of the meetings, I suggested that we could have this, project in which the students are allowed to read a story, okay, or read anything, even a manual, a story, a novel, or a magazine, or something, and in response to that reading, they should be expected to write a written response, give a verbal presentation. Okay, so this suggestion is still under consideration because there are some, nitty-gritties that need to be finalized. But you can have that scoring rubric, and I'm going to send these things to you. You don't need to worry about. Don't need to remember. Okay. So now we are on to the main thing, and for which I would appreciate if you have already had your laptops ready, and we are going to start, with could you join me here?
Today meet.
Yeah. If you just type this into the URL, let me go back. See how I'm doing it. For this portion, excuse me guys, for this part of the presentation, you will really need to be attentive. What am I doing? What am I asking you, expecting you to do? Okay, so that we are on the same page and we have a minimum number of questions coming out from the group. Okay. Let's come to this page. Todaysmeet.com. And I will be communicating to you using this page. Are you there already?
Yes.
Okay. Now we are going to create a room and I'm going to name the room. And to save time, I already have. Which is no, you won't be able to do it. What can we do? Can I have your attention? I'll appreciate if you please concentrate here. Please concentrate here. Since I have already made this page for you, so this is not going to accept this, name of the room. So you can create a room. For example, this is earlier the one. Now you can create a room, and another good thing is it allows me to take that name. The good thing is that you can have this room for 2 hours, 8, 12, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. Let's say you want this for 12 hours.
Ali, we have to put Ali Abini 1, no? Or Ali no?
Yeah, for now, you don't need to. I'm showing you how to create a room. The room has already been created. Okay? So you create a room, you click it, you're there. So write your name and then I join. I say, I need to push save. See the message is there. Alright? So So, I don't want you to come to this page. I want you to directly put in an EBD and you're there. EBD and you're there. The room has already been created, so I put my name. My name is Ali and I'm going to join. Please join the room now. All of you join the room first of all. Same touch. Just put in one and the EBD. Not because you are creating it for yourself. Don't for us. Need help? Need help? Need to put in. I need not this you are doing it for your own, you know. What's your name? Rahim, are you there? No, are you there? Online. Your presence, your virtual presence is required now. Your physical presence is obsolete. Okay, so join. Not one. If you have joined the room, please say hello to everyone. And for each time you need to press say. Okay? And please do not chat with each other. This is, I've opened up this channel to communicate between us. Okay? I'm communicating with you. I'm going to allow you to have an interaction with you yourselves. Right? But not need to hold on. So, can you please look at me, please? Right? So, what did you see there? Today's meet. We are logged on to today's meet. And as I said, your physical presence are no more taken into considerations. You are there virtually. All right? So, look at the page that you have joined and tell me what do you see, what you think it is capable of doing. It's pretty obvious also. Have a look at your screens.
It's text chatting.
Text chatting, good.
You can't say or listen anything.
Can't say anything else?
Sharing.
Is it just chatting? What are we doing? Why have I put it on? Why did I do it?
Discussion.
Discussion, okay.
Comment.
This is two-way.
Distraction.
Opens up a two-way communication channel. Okay, between teacher and student, student and student, student and teacher as well.
We should specify a topic so that we can be on the same line, because if we keep it like that, one is asking a question to another specific person, another is chatting. So we should have, a way of communicating. How, for example, a chosen subject, for example,
You are 2 steps ahead of us. Now, I need to jump and get to you. Anybody would like to answer him? If you have heard his question. He raised concern that if in the absence of a topic, predetermined topic, it would just be a mere chatting. Is it what I want to do here? Is it what I am doing? What am I doing? What do you think I'm intending to do here?
Maybe it's the first class, we're just trying to get introduced to.
First of all, this is just an introduction. Good, thank you for saving. Anybody who can save me here? Because, yeah, I have a reason for doing it. You have a very valid point.
To motivate the students.
Yes.
To use the tool.
You can use it. You can use it, I mean, the way you are suggesting. You can use it, but probably in a later stage. Why I have used it? I have just opened up a channel. Just, for example, let's say that I'm not able to get my voice across to all of you, or probably talk to each and every one of you. Okay, what are you doing? How have you done it? Where are you? So I open up a channel when I have any point, question, or if I'm asking something you to do, I just put up the message over there, and it's there with your systems. Okay, you just need to read it and probably follow, or if you have a question, you can ask me back. You can ask the group also.
Adi, how do you control what the students write? Or you don't control it? Is it free?
No. Nothing but free.
Is it free writing or is it controlled?
It can be used for free writing. It can be used for, project writing, which we are going to discuss. Okay? Okay, now let's. No, Ali, I'm coming to this.
Yeah.
I'm coming to this. Are we all on the board? Okay. Now, I've asked you to join this one, and let us see what good is this, feature of Web tool, especially in the context of our language classrooms. Okay? So it is basically a virtual online meeting room that allows for communication and collaboration without time and space limit. Your students could be at home, okay? And you are probably sitting in your office and showing your virtual presence to your students. And you are probably, monitoring, you are moderating, which we call e-moderation. Okay? You don't need to interfere in each and every thing, each and every comment that the students put up. You just need to, see that the topic, the students don't get off the topic. Alright? After you finish all your conversation, the good thing is that you can save the transcript for future reference. Okay? This is the good thing about it. And it enhances, as we said, multi-dimensional, two or probably three-way communication. Teacher-student, student-student, and student-teacher. So that time is then it allows for after-class, online, pair group task discussions. Is he with us? The last point is yours. That's your last point that you were referring to. Okay? That is possible. And of course, a lot depends on how and what you see as a possibility with today's need. Okay? But what you need to do is that you need to be aware of what it offers you to do. Okay? And then make use of it. But these are just my submissions that you can do such things. And today's need student can work in groups, share ideas, and get to agreements. Then students can participate and develop the writing skill for the English language. It favors some other higher cognitive skills such as critical thinking because they are required to reason, argue, question, and give their opinion immediately about some topics they are discussing during the class. Right? Now, before moving on to this, I just want you to give your opinion. Have 1 minute time. Think about it individually, then in group, and raise your hands and tell me what else can you do with today's meeting. I've told you, why I used it. I opened up a channel of communication. I don't know where my students are. Probably there are other students, you don't know. Okay? And it happens in universities, it happens that half of the class is sitting in front of you, and probably more than half is scattered around the globe. So the teacher needs to be making effective communication to everyone. everywhere, anywhere. Please think and get back to it. The features are there in front of you. Yeah. Can I have the feedback?
Yes,
Can you think of any other
I think it's only stresses on writing skill.
writing skills?
And
Okay.
getting all the skills needed like listening to students.
Good idea. That you can have no substance. You can have, you can give a good practice of writing. Okay? This is one. Please, everybody listens to each and everybody's contribution. Let's not make the same mistakes that the 7 people made. Let's construct the learning today. Yeah, your idea?
Actually, as you mentioned before, it's not only the writing skill which is involved here, there are other skills, such as reading skills also, thinking, as also I mentioned the point, Tez mentioned before, that you can give them a project to work on and they can change and think and give them, of course they come up with, for example,
They can discuss.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, brainstorming, for the project. Good idea. 2 ideas so far. Wonderful.
We can get any text, and we can ask questions on that text.
Have you listened to this? Did you hear that? It's a very good point.
Yeah.
I want to elaborate on this point. I mean, instead of putting all the story on this, how about giving the students the link to? Just there's the link, and go to that link, follow that link, and you'll find the story, and then you give the task in today's meet. The link plus the task. All right? How about that? Yeah, it's a very good idea. So far, writing skills, brainstorming and planning for project work, and then reading. Asking students to read from such a source. Yeah?
Yes.
3 wonderful ideas. How about the critical thinking? Did you not hear about the argue, discussion, question, reason? These are precisely the critical thinking.
Collaboration is there.
Collaboration is there. Okay, let's move on to the second web tool, which is Tricidal. Tricidal, any idea what Tricidal is? All right, let me ask you, Ibrahim, smile. What tools are you using for brainstorming and decision making? Any recommendations that you can make? If you want your students to brainstorm on certain things, certain idea, project, or make a decision, or come up to a decision, then Tricidal is a wonderful idea. And you can try using it with your students when the students are struggling to come to a decision or decide on a course aims or contents. When you talk about collaborative learning, when you talk about process-based learning, when you talk about communicative language teaching, you know that your course content is not the last word for the student and shouldn't be the last thing, on the agenda. So it is communicatable, negotiable with the students. So you can decide on probably the aims, probably the content, with the students. What can we do? What should we do? So this tool can be used in such a situation. I'm going to show you what it looks like. first thing, yeah, translator. You land somewhere here. Are you there? You're there already. It's a translator. And what does it do for the language, for your language classrooms? What does it do?
Sharing ideas.
Sharing ideas. We, in the first place, said that when you want to brainstorm ideas and when you want students or people in communities, in committee, to get to a decision, get to the same page. This is probably one of the very good tools to use. And in order to incite discussion, argumentative discussion in the classrooms, you can use this instruction. So what you need to do is, you set up some controversial statements and get students to vote for the ones they agree or disagree with, and leave pro or con comments, and get students to vote on a list of topics they want to study. For example, this could be an example. All right. Let's follow this. This is one example. The topic, I have created one tricycle for you as an example, and after you have seen it, you are going to make a tricycle for the class. All right? Can you see this? This topic would you like to study? And look at, see, we have these ideas. For example, household chores, politics, sports, the news. How have the students responded? Plus means, in the blue box, plus means it's talking about the content, pro. Then I go for the,
Give us the link to this page.
this is just an example. I'm going to give you one thing, another thing. I just want you to concentrate on how it is done. Okay? And you can vote here. For example, your name, if I say. Okay, so it has got one vote. One student has voted for this topic to be taken up by the teacher. Okay, student likes this topic, and here is the reason why. Okay, it doesn't. It's not like that I want this topic. No, he needs to argue in favor of it, and he has voted also. Okay, now for the news, see that there is a negative comment also. This might get messy in open class discussion. Okay? For instance, I would like to vote here too. I mean, I commented on it, so I'm voting for it. Okay? So I voted. Now I'm going to close it. Going back to tricycle. Let us see how you make a tricycle. For instance, what topic do you want? What controversial topic?
Is BDU working well? Michael, sorry.
It's a fair topic.
Michael's the best in the world. Don't worry, he has recorded it. No, so you press go. You press go, and there you are. And you've got no ideas. Add ideas here. Is PDU working?
Well,
I think.
it is.
Yes.
But Michael Taylor is.
You don't need to tell us what you think. Yeah, just write yes or no. It's okay.
No, it's not yes or no thing. It's not yes or no. We need to put up an idea. Okay, the arguments come later. So how is it helping? I mean, the question should have been, how is PDU working? Let me, you see, we can edit also. Go back.
You got it, profession. You got profession.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
You have to profession.
Make mistakes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What's that?
Okay, let's have another idea.
Should we get the bonus this year?
Yes.
No, on that.
On that question, how
Yeah.
well did you work?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, it is definitely working.
no, make a-
Okay, another idea. How is PDU helping?
Housing has been reduced. Can we extend the holidays a little bit longer? The housing allowance is very important.
I will be that stick with
Oh, no. You never know.
Write it 5 million is already late.
So you see that, I mean, this is how we keep on adding ideas. How PDU works, alright? And then an argument. Am I arguing in favor of, how well the PDU is working, or am I going to argue against its working? For instance, if I say, management program, I think it needs a little more careful, careful plan, okay. See, okay, if I'm brave enough, I'll put my name also. I have. So thank you for your argument, it's there, okay. And you can have another argument, I mean, any number of arguments you can keep on putting, alright. So in this way, you are actually asking students to argue in favor or against an idea. For instance, when we talked about that you can have a controversial topic. These are other examples, if you can see. Get students to brainstorm, debate, share knowledge about any particular topic or even language points. For example, present continuous. You can say present, I think the present continuous is, then you say, where do we use them? Okay, in the categories ideas. The categories of idea, when it is used here, there, A, B, C, D. Then the students are going to argue, probably give examples, and then argue in favor or against it. Okay? Then set up true-false questions. Like Suhail was saying, question to check comprehension of a text. You see, my attempt is that I try to give you as many examples, to bring you as many activities or tasks that you can use, that a particular web tool. And like you can use this as a true-false questions to check comprehension of a text or a story. Okay? You can check the factual information also on that.
How do we enter, as a student, how do we enter the system?
You do not need a sign up. The good thing about this TriStudio is you do not need a sign up. You just need the link. I'm going to send you the link. That's the task for you. Please visit this TriStudio.
Are we dependent upon another program to share these ideas of these topics? I think we can do it from here also.
mean, you can share your tricycle through Facebook, Twitter, and many other things. And there is another thing also, how to share, how to get your tricycle filled in by the students or by general public. I'll let you know. There is another tool also. First of all, let's do this. It should be stepwise thing. Please visit this and try to attempt it, argue in favor or against it, and try to vote also. Let me check how your people are doing also. The questions are already there. Okay. The controversy is there. The questions are there. You need to argue. Have you heard called Assembly Jamaat Assembly? Where do you guys meet?
Control and